Hey there, friends. Nibs again. Out here in the garage today, doing a little bit of goofing around, and I've been doing a little bit of science experimenting, trying to come up with a solution for some ammo for these Quackenbush #1 rifles. These ones used, they called it a 21 caliber felted slug, and those are few and far between to find, very hard to find. And I have one of my own. It's right over here. This one actually belongs to my good buddy Brian over at the Hasbro channel. He was struggling with it, and I finally got this thing up and running. It's working pretty good. We're going to take a look at that. But before we do that, I'll tell you what I came up with as far as a solution for the ammo. So I have some 21 caliber round balls. They're too big to fit in there. And then the only other thing I could find that would shoot out of it is a 20 caliber pellet, but they were like 10 thousandths too small. And they would just, they would go across the garage, but the best I could do is they were hitting about 6 inches low and barely penetrating a piece of paper. So what I came up with is I had this little 22 caliber pellet resizer base, and I'm not using the normal probe that came with it, but I have this 3/8 inch Mayhew center punch, and I just put that in there and roll it around a bit. And I think this bullet sizer actually, because I was doing that and I was getting very inconsistent results, but this kind of limits the amount that I can actually roll that around, and then that actually opens up the skirt on these pellets just enough to get me right up around that 0.210. About 0.208 is really where I'm ending up at with these. And I just showed you doing it up here in the air, and it's a little bit harder. If I do it on the bench, it doesn't take nearly as much effort. A couple rolls and it's ready to go. And I will show you guys the difference between shooting sized and unsized during this video. So I'll just do a few more here. I already have a handful of them already sized here, but these are H&N Field Target Trophy 20 calibers, 11.42 grain. It only needs like 2 or 3 rolls around there, and it will widen that skirt out just enough. So this is Brian's gun again. It was a sick little baby here. Let's see, this hole in the bottom here that actually retains the barrel was stripped out, and that bolt wouldn't screw in far enough. There was a missing piece there. The spring was broken half in a couple pieces actually. The trigger was super hard to pull. I had to adjust that. Other than that, I think it was okay. But so this is one of the sized pellets. So I like to get the pellet in the barrel. Oh, I didn't get you guys off frame here, but get the pellet and push it up into the barrel, because there's a slot right there. So you push the barrel back, and that actually cocks the action. Then you pull it forward till you see that slot. Then you can put your pellet in there, and you got to make sure you pull it all the way forward, and that seals off the chamber. Beforehand with the it was shooting very low with the other ones, and like I said, barely able to penetrate a piece of paper. Now actually with these resized ones, it's hitting, if I aim, put the post at the top of the V here, even with the top of the rear sight, it's actually hitting about 2 inches high. So very big difference. So let's aim at that upper splatter burst. I don't see where it hit. Stand by. Okay, it hit just a little bit high. It's just above the splatter burst there. Figures I was getting pretty decent repeatable accuracy when I was practicing before I started the camera up. As soon as I get on camera, all bets are off. Yeah, it's still going high. I'm putting the V right in the bottom of the V here and aiming right at the red dot. But it's consistent anyway. So I'll do one more. I'll do one more with the resized pellets here. Pretty much the same hole as the last two. Now let me, I'll shoot one of the unsized pellets. And you gotta be careful because these will slide right out of the barrel if you have it tilted down hardly at all. Ugh. You can just look in there and see that it's not, the base is not filling the barrel nearly as much. So I'm going to aim at that upper splatter burst, and I'm kind of expecting that it'll hit the lower splatter burst. Did it hit in the... Figures now it's going to behave, right? But I love shooting these old guns, so you have to figure this stuff out, right? All right, let's see here. Is that still going up high there? Let me go take a look. All right, it looks like they're all going up high there. Let me shoot down at that lower splatter burst and see. This again is one of the unsized ones. I'm really curious why it's all of a sudden shooting these unsized ones. I mean, they're not shooting as strong. I can tell that right off the bat. That one went high too. I don't get it. All right, same shot, the lower one there. That one went high too. Definitely seems like I'm getting a lot more consistent speed and accuracy with these resized ones for sure. All right, so this is a resized one. I'm going back to the resized ones. Lower splatter burst. There we go. But at least Brian's going to have a nice Quackenbush #1. He can finally put in his collection and shoot. Pretty consistent. So let me shoot a couple shots with mine just to to prove here's Brian's and here's mine, that there actually is two here. All right, we use the resized ones. Okay, I'm gonna aim at the upper splatterburst first. I don't know where that went. All right, let's go for the lower splatterburst. I think I'm just going up at the top of that. They all seem to be hitting high for me here. But I resized a bunch of them here. Let's just shoot a handful more, right? Bottom one again. I'm going to aim right at the bottom of that splatterburst. There we go. That's a good point of aim. Come on, get up in there. All right, same point of aim again. Might try that again with Brian's with the last couple here. All right, let's see. I got still 7 or 8 there. I call that pretty good consistency for a 100-year-old pellet gun. So the serial number on mine is like in the 31,000, and I dated that one in the Quackenbush book that I borrowed from a friend of mine, and that one dates to about 1933. This one has a 25,000 serial number, so probably, you know, mid-20s. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't have that book right now, so I can't look it up. Definitely, you know, older than mine. So this one's probably right at 100 years old. Mine's almost 100 years old. All right, I'm gonna aim at the bottom of that upper splatterburst. Yep, there we go. Same point of aim. There you go. I think we got it all figured out. All right, one more. Nice. Finish it off on a bullseye. But there you go. That is the Quackenbush #1. Doing a little bit of sciencey stuff for today. We've got, like I said, we've got 2 of them here for right now. I'll get this one packed back up for Brian and get it back off to him. I've had it for a bit of time now, but he'll be happy to get it back. And hope you guys liked the video. Till next time, have a great day.